Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, I would be discussing about pollination. In my previous videos, I have talked about the male and female reproductive parts of the flowering plant. If you have not seen them yet, then please go watch those videos because they are having the basic concepts of microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis, which have been explained in a very detailed manner. Okay, so now we will be talking about the pollination. What is pollination basically? What are the different types of pollination? What are the agents that are taking part in the process of pollination? Let's start. So pollination is the process by which the pollen grains which are carrying the male gametes reach the stigma which consists of the female gamete. Now there are three different types of pollination which are autogamy, geitonogamy and xenogamy. So we will start with autogamy. Autogamy is the transfer of pollen grains to the stigma of the same flower. Same flower के अंदर pollen grains transfer होंगे stigma पर. So this is the process of autogamy in the case of bisexual flowers, where the male and female organs are present on the similar flower. Okay. Now for this process to occur, there must be synchronicity in the release of pollen grains and the receptivity of the stigma. So there must be a synchronicity in both these events. Alright, and the other thing is that the anthers and stigma should be close to each other. They must be lying very close to each other, so that whenever the pollen grains are released, they can instantly go and stick to the stigma. Other way is geitonogamy, where the anthers are being transferred to the stigma of different flowers but on the same plant. Okay, suppose this is a plant and there is one flower and this is the other flower. So the pollen grains from this flower, pollen grains are denoting by P, will go to the stigma of this flower. So the flowers are different but the plant is same. In xenogamy, the plant is different, flowers are different, so the pollen grains are going to the stigma of a flower on a different plant. So this process is bringing genetic variation. Okay, because genetically different pollen grains are coming to the stigma of a genetically different plant. So autogamy and geitonogamy, these both are the processes which are resulting in the pure breed formation. These both are forming pure breed, whereas xenogamy is leading to genetic variation. Now there are two types of flowers, one are chasmogamous and the other one are cleistogamous. So chasmogamous flowers remain open. Most of the flowers are chasmogamous and they have their anthers and stigma exposed. So they can be self-pollinated as well as cross-pollinated. Okay. Whereas cleistogamous flowers are those flowers which are closed. Means like this. They are closed and they have the stigma inside them and the anthers are also present over here. So what they will do, they only can have self-pollination. They can't have cross-pollination because they are inside a closed flower. So they can't be interacted by external sources. External pollen grains cannot come. Neither any insect can come and pollinate. So they can only rely on self-pollination. Now we will talk about the pollinating agents. So there are basically three pollinating agents, among which two are abiotic, means non-living, which are wind and water, and one are biotic. So this biotic is by the help of insects and also by birds and other animals. We will discuss about them. So first we are going to discuss about wind pollination, which is one of the most common method of abiotic pollination, in which the pollen grains must be very light so they can flow with the wind, and they should be non-sticky कि वो कहीं पर भी चिपक जाए. So they must be very light and non-sticky, and the stigma should be very large and feathery so that they can have more and more surface area and they can blow with the wind. The stigma can also blow with the wind and catch whatever pollen grains are present in the wind. Now we will talk about the water pollination. The water pollination is basically observed in plants which are present in the water, like the hydrilla, water hyacinth also, Vallisneria and Zostera. Okay. In Vallisneria, what happens is that suppose this is the water level. So the female flower will come up. This is the female flower, suppose. it will come up the surface of the water with the help of a stalk, and the male gametes are present in the water like this. They are ribbon-like structures. The male gametes are the ribbon-like structures in case of water pollinating plants. So this will happen in case of Vallisneria, while in some of the sea grasses what will happen is that the flower will remain inside the water, okay, and the male gametes will also be released inside the water. So they will come in contact with the flower and then lead to the pollen pistil interaction that we will discuss in the future video. Now pollen grains used in the pollination by water are ribbon-like and they are protected with the help of a mucilaginous covering. This mucilaginous covering is being provided to the pollen grains so that the pollen grains might not dissolve in water or might not be affected by water. Alright. Now there is insect pollination, or we can just call it biotic pollination, because not only the insects but birds are also taking part in this type of pollination. There are moths, ants, beetles are there, wasps are there, bees, flies, bats, butterflies are there. Along with that, rodents, reptiles and some arboreal animals and lemurs also take part in the pollination. And among all these organisms, bees are the most dominant insects or biotic agents that are used for the pollination. So what happens is that there is one thing, that the flowers which are pollinated with the help of water or wind, they don't have a sweet smell, they don't produce nectar. But these flowers which are being pollinated with the help of insects, or which are having being pollinated with the biotic agents, they are having a sweet aroma, and also they are having nectar inside them. So why is that aroma? Those colored petals are also present. Why are those? Because they are attracting the insects towards themselves. So when the insect will be attracted to a flower by its sweet aroma and the colorful petals, then it will go and sit on the flower. When the insect will go and sit on the flower, then the pollen grains will be dusted over its body. And when that same insect will go and sit on another flower, then it will just release the pollen grains to the stigma of some other flower. So it will be helping in cross pollination. When insects are helping the flowers in cross pollination, then flowers are also rewarding those insects with the help of sweet nectar. So bees are being rewarded by this nectar, and they use that nectar to form honey that we also consume. Okay, so this is the whole criteria which is happening in the pollination by the help of insects or the biotic pollinators. In some cases what happens, flowers also provide area, or you can say space, to lay eggs. As in case of Amorphophallus, there is a plant called Amorphophallus which is a tall plant. So it helps to provide, it just provides space for laying egg to some of the insects or whatever creature is coming to pollinate it. And there is a plant called Yucca which is pollinated with the help of moths. Okay, so Yucca and moth are unable to complete their life cycles because Yucca is pollinated only by moth, and moth, what it does, it lays its eggs inside the locule of its ovary, locule of the ovary of Yucca plant or Yucca flower, and it will lay eggs over there. And when the seed is developed, then the larva of this moth will come along with the seed outside the flower. Okay, when the seeds will be coming out of the flower, then only the larva of this moth will be coming out of the flower. So the life cycle of Yucca and moth is both, their both life cycle are interrelated. Then comes the outbreeding devices. What happens is that sometimes when the male and female organs of are present on the same plant, means there is a bisexual condition, then autogamies happen all the time, means the pollen grains of the same flower are pollinating the stigma of the same flower. Then there is a inbreeding depression coming, because there is no genetic variations coming, no exchange of genetic material, nothing from outside is coming. So the genetic material of the same plant is just recycling, which is degrading the quality of that plant, of its future generations which are coming. Their quality, genetic quality is degrading. So nature has found out some preventive measures, among which there is number one is the lack of synchronicity. So the pollen grains are released. Suppose now the pollen grains are released, but if there is this is a bisexual plant, the stigma will not be receptive. Stigma will not be ready to accept the pollen grains. Okay, so the pollen grains will go on to some other plants. There will be no autogamy. Then there is a different position of the anthers as stigma. Sometimes what happens, the stigma is present on a upper location and the anthers are present on the lower location. So the anthers cannot shed their pollen grains on the stigma. So the stigma will always be cross pollinated. Now self-incompatibility is that stigma will have a genetic mechanism in which it will not accept the anthers which is having genetic makeup similar to itself. Means if the pollen grains are from the same flower or the same plant, it will not accept. Okay, it will not accept those anthers or those pollen grains. Now the production of unisexual flowers means the flowers are having either only male flower is there. Okay, either the male flower is there or the female flower is there. Both male and female reproductive organs will not be present on the same flower. And other mechanism is the presence of dioicy. In the presence of dioicy, what happens, as in case of papaya, either the plant is male plant or the plant is female plant. Means the male plant will be having only anthers on it, the flowers of the male plant will be having only anthers, and the flowers of the female plant will be having only stigmas or the female reproductive organs. So these are the preventive measures: lack of synchronicity, different position of anthers and stigma, self-incompatibility, production of unisexual flowers, presence of dioicy. Okay, so I'll just give you a brief overview what we have studied. Yeah, we have studied about pollination. So what are the different kinds of pollination? One is the autogamy, in which the pollen grains are coming to the stigma of the same flower. Then comes the geitonogamy, in which the pollen grains are going to the stigma of a different flower but on the same plant. Then comes the xenogamy, where the pollen grains are going to the flowers of a different plant. Then we have discussed about chasmogamous flowers, which are open, always open. Their anthers and stigma are always exposed. Then cleistogamous flowers, which remain always closed and they can only do self-pollination, and chasmogamous flowers can do both self-pollination and cross-pollination. Then we discussed about the pollinating agents, among which we discussed about the biotic, which happened with the help of insects or birds or rodents or arboreal animals. Okay, so many creatures were involved in this biotic pollination. And then we studied about the abiotic pollination, in which wind and water were the sources. Alright, so this is all about pollination. In the next video, I would be discussing about the very important pollen pistil interaction. Alright, so if you like this video, then please subscribe to my channel and please share this video with your friends. And if you have any doubt regarding any of the topic that has been discussed on my channel, then please mention in the comment box. And also you can contact me at the biology@gmail.com. that is my Gmail. Okay, you can always contact me over there. I would be happy to clear your doubts. And please stay tuned, as I would be posting videos every day regarding to your 12th class biology, and my main focus is on boards exam right now. So please stay tuned, like, subscribe and share. Thank you very much.